Hey guys, it is Dani and welcome to this update video this morning. I hope you're doing really great, and so we will be going straight into what is happening with that disturbance located off the coast of Africa in terms of seeing development of it and what models are expecting, and we'll also be looking at the environment ahead of it and what is currently happening across the Caribbean and surrounding areas. And before I go into details, please do subscribe if you haven't yet done so and tap the bell so that you never miss an important update. Alright, so as we take a look at the 7-day outlook as of the 2 a.m. update this morning, we can see here that there we have the disturbance located south of the Cabo Verde Islands, and it is expected to continue westward, eventually making its way to the Caribbean. And as it continues toward the west, it is likely to encounter some more conducive environmental conditions that could allow for some development of it. There we have dawn lingering up there in the North Atlantic, so that isn't a threat to land. If you're curious about it, here's the latest forecast track. We can see that it is expected to remain a tropical storm as we're going to be heading throughout the rest of this week and into the early part of next week. But as it makes its way up north and into those cooler waters, it will eventually dissipate. And so let's go back to this disturbance here. We're looking at the coast of Africa, and here we can see all of this shower and thunderstorm activity, this broad area of activity. So what's happening is that the wave is interacting with the Intertropical Convergence Zone, or ITCZ. So what happens is that the Intertropical Convergence Zone is where the trade winds of the north and south meet, and usually we find lots of activity there sometimes. So that is what is helping to support all of these showers and thunderstorms. But again, as the wave continues to the west, it should encounter some more favorable conditions because all that dry air out there is going to be helping to prevent it from becoming anything significant or inhibit any significant organization as we're going to be heading into the next couple of days. And so let's drift into the Caribbean, see what's happening, and then we'll go back to this disturbance in terms of what is expected. So as we go to northern South America, we can see here that there isn't much going on for some areas. It should be pretty sunny for many areas, but as we're going to be heading into this afternoon, the possibility exists for those showers and thunderstorms. ABC Islands in the clear right now. Similar story as we head to most of the Lesser Antilles, including Barbados, maybe some cloud cover for Trinidad and Tobago as well. And then as we head further up north, we can see here that there is a bit of activity over the northwestern Caribbean, some thunderstorms near Jamaica, going to the Cayman Islands, and even over into some spots in Central America, especially in Belize, going to parts of Guatemala as well. There we see that little blob over there of some thunderstorm activity, but things are quiet as we head into southern Honduras, going to Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. So nothing crazy is happening there right now. Similar story for the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands, sections of Cuba, Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands. And as I said, for the Lesser Antilles, things have cleared up. And so in terms of the rainfall through today, we're looking at the GFS model. Here we can see that things are going to be a lot drier over in the east. So for Hispaniola, Turks and Caicos Islands, most of the Bahamas, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, the Lesser Antilles, ABC Islands, there isn't going to be much rainfall at all. Maybe a chance of seeing a brief shower or so pass by for the Lesser Antilles, but nothing much is expected for the area. Similar story for Trinidad, maybe just a brief shower here or there, but nothing much is anticipated. As we head to the northwestern Caribbean, that is where it is expected to receive the most rainfall in the Caribbean region. So I'll go into some spots in Cuba, near the Cayman Islands, possibly for some areas in Jamaica as well. We even see some activity expected up in Florida and parts of the northwestern Bahamas, and going over into Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, near the Caribbean coast of Honduras and Nicaragua. That is where the rainfall activity is likely as we're going to be heading through today. Euro is in agreement with this. Here we can see these higher totals represented by these brighter colors. And so that is what is expected, guys. And now let's go back to this disturbance. But we're looking at the conditions now. And so as we take a look at the Saharan air layer map, there's a lot more dry air as we head to those more of those darker shades of oranges and those reds. So we can see that there's a lot of dry air ahead of it, extended across the Atlantic, the main development region, which is that area between the Lesser Antilles and the coast of Africa. That is where we have most of the development during the hurricane season. So that is why it is designated as such. So a lot of dry air is ahead of it. Some of that Saharan dust reaching the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos Islands, and parts of the Eastern Caribbean. So it might be pretty hazy for you guys there. Let me know in the comments what is happening for you. But that disturbance, it is located just in that region. Again, all that dry air is ahead of it, and that will pose a problem for its intensification. So it will struggle out there and try to get itself together. But the surface temperatures are definitely there to aid it, because they are conducive around 27 degrees Celsius, maybe 28 degrees Celsius in some spots. So that is definitely going to be aiding in the development of this system here. So the formation chance remains at 20%, and it will slowly increase as time goes by once the system is actually trying to get itself together out there. And so in terms of the ensemble members, going to the Euro and GFS ensemble members now. So for Euro, as we're going to be heading into the middle of next week, there we have all these members being a bit more consistent in the track, expecting the system to head westward and enter the Caribbean. So this is likely going to be affecting the southeastern Caribbean. But again, there can be changes between now and then, and there is no guarantee, no complete or 100% guarantee that there is going to even be a storm in the region. But as we head to Thursday of next week, here we have the system expected to continue making its way toward the west, and eventually these members get more dispersed as time goes by. So only time will tell what's going to be happening. Nothing is solid right now, but look at that new cluster of members there. Maybe another wave behind that system trying to get itself together. Only time will tell what's going to be happening, but I wouldn't be surprised, because things will get more active as we progress to the next couple of weeks. And so going on to the GFS ensemble members, they're not expecting much. So a lot of them expecting that this won't make it to the Caribbean as a tropical cyclone. So as we head into the middle of next week, that is what we're seeing. And then eventually as we progress to the end of next week on Saturday, there really isn't much at all. Likely the wind shear kicking up coupled with the drier conditions. So those will help the system to dissipate eventually. So only time will tell. But even if it makes its way by as a strong tropical wave, that can still cause problems, because there have been many tropical waves that bring impact, sometimes even worse than tropical cyclones are forecast to bring. So this definitely should not be underestimated just because it might not be something very strong. It doesn't take a tropical cyclone to cause significant flooding. So only time will tell. As I said, only time will tell what's going to be happening, but I will continue to keep an eye on all that is expected for you guys, and I will keep you updated. And so that is pretty much it for this update. That's what I wanted to share with you, and I hope you found it to be quite informative. However, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments, and you can also share your thoughts there. And as always, remember to be weatherwise.